Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So yesterday discussed. Yeah. Yesterday we learned about how to deal with different types of constraints. So we learned how to create various types of constraints. And to create foreign key constraints, you need some relationship to understand. And have you tried those model diagrams? You created those model diagrams, right? Model diagrams, I asked you to try writing the model diagrams with relationship. Yesterday I explained relationship. So you need to do that because in the next level, we will work with a project environment. There you need to design all those relationships. So when we start project, I will guide you in the project. I will not show any project so that I will do everything. So majority, I will guide you how to design. Project is not like I do and show and you see it. So for that, you need all these diagrams and documents to plan design. So yesterday already I explained the process, how the relationships and all configured. Today we will see how to create the foreign keys. So we will discuss the foreign keys and you can practice them, how to handle. So let's see how to use a foreign key constant. Foreign key constraint. How do we define foreign key constants? So already we know. So it is used to configure relationship between fields in tables. Relationship between fields in tables. So we can configure relationship between fields in tables using this foreign key. And you can define multiple relations. So you can configure any relationship like 1 to 1. So 1 to many, many to many. Many to many. So to define foreign key constant, there are some important rules. So foreign key field must be defined in the table where you want to configure relationship. Foreign key field must be defined in the table where you want to configure relationship. So the field name and the data type must match with the reference table field name. The field name and data type must match with the reference table field. You can say reference table field. They should match with the reference table field. This is the first point. That means, for example, so what you understood by these two lines, foreign key field must be defined in table where you want to configure the relationship. And the field name and data type must match with the reference table and the field. It should match. What does this means is, suppose you have so you are having two tables. Suppose TBL categories, that is the table. In this you have a category ID and a name. We have another table, TBL products. In that we have product ID and a name and some price something. Now every product belongs to a category. If every product belongs to a category, how you configure the relation? That means the category ID is a primary key. That means in categories table, category ID is a primary key. Means every category will be unique here. So how to tell this product belongs to a specific category? We have to use this category ID here. That means the products table will use the category ID, not the category name. It uses the category ID because what is the unique identification for category? The unique identification category is what? Category ID. Category ID. So we have to define the category ID. We have to define the category ID in this table also. That means what is the first rule? Foreign key field must be defined in the table where you want to configure relationship. That means the field must be defined here. And what should be there? The field name and data type must match with the reference table field. That means when you write category ID here, it data type and field name must match with this. That means we are using this as a foreign key here. Its field name must be defined with the same name. Its data type also should be the same data type as here. What data type you defined here, the same data type must be defined Remember, writing the same field name with the same data type will not create relation. That means now products table and categories table are not still connected. Even you are using the foreign key field here and mentioning about the foreign key. Still, it is not treated as a foreign key. This is not a foreign key. It is just one of the field like product ID, name and price. So you have to mention that foreign key field, but it will not become a foreign key. To define it as a foreign key, we have to enable the connection also. That means first you have to write the foreign key field, make sure that the foreign key field name and its data type are matching, but still it doesn't become a foreign key. You have to connect them. How do we connect them after doing this? This rule understood now? So the field name must be there with the same data type, but it doesn't become a foreign key. For that, we have to create a foreign key. So after configuring the field name, so the foreign key constant is created to configure relationship between tables. A foreign key constant is created to configure relationship between tables. A foreign key constant is created to configure relationship between tables. So how it is created is, we have constant and constant name. We have constant name. Foreign key. Foreign key. So here foreign key field name. Foreign key field name. Foreign key field name. References. Here we have to define a reference table name. And reference field name. We have to define like this. So on update, we have to use on update. On update, what is the reference type? On delete, what is the reference type? These are the options we need to define. Reference type you need to define. So to create a foreign key, that is the basic syntax. First, when you create a foreign key, you have a constraint is a command. By using the constraint command, you have to give a constraint name. That means for every foreign key constant, you should have a reference name. Why you need reference name? Because this reference name is required to modify the foreign key. Suppose in future you want to change the foreign key. You want to delete the foreign key or change the relationship or modify anything in the foreign key. Then how you access the foreign key? Foreign key must have a reference name. So every foreign key constant requires a constant name. Through that constant name, we can access the foreign key. We can modify and delete the foreign keys. So if you don't want any relation, you can remove the foreign key. If you want to modify the relation, then you can edit the foreign key. For that, foreign key constant name is required, because in a table we can have multiple foreign keys. Then how you refer any foreign key? How you modify any particular foreign key? For that, constant name is required. So a constant name is required to modify or delete constants. A constant name is required to modify or delete constants. So constant name is required to modify or delete the constants. Next important, foreign key is the command. Through the foreign key command, you have to tell the foreign key field name. What is this foreign key field name? In the current table, which field you want to use as foreign key? That field name you have to mention. So that means here, foreign key field name is the field in current table that you want as foreign key. Foreign key field name is the field in current table that you want as foreign key. So reference table name is nothing but reference table name is the table that contains fields that you want to connect with the foreign key. Reference table name is the table that contains fields that you want to connect with the foreign key. Now, what is this on update reference type? On delete reference type? Actually, if you don't define these two, then by default reference type is taken as On update, on delete, by default it is taken as restrict. We have three reference types. Three different reference types are available. So reference types are configured to set up relationship. Reference types are configured to set up relationship between tables so that they can be controlling the data, so that they can be controlling the data from parent. They can control data from parent. That is enough. They can control data from parent. So that they can control data from parent. There are three reference types. We have restrict, cascade, and set null. Set null. We have three reference types. So the reference types define the actions to perform when the parent field is modified or deleted. The reference types define the actions to perform when the parent field is modified or deleted. The parent fields are modified or deleted. So the default reference type is restrict. The default reference type is restrict. Right. So what does this restrict means? What is the meaning of this reference type is? We will see that the meaning of reference type is, so you configured relationship between two tables. We have TBL category and TBL products. In category, we have category ID, and in this we have products. So product ID, name, all these are present. Now what is the point is, here we are using category ID, which is relation. Now what happens in category? We have 1, 2, 3 categories are there, and every product belongs to that category. Suppose TV belongs to 1, some jeans belongs to 3, some Nike belongs to 2, mobile belongs to 1, like that. So these belongs to different categories. That means actually this Nike, Puma, this belongs to 2. Some 2 is some footwear. 1 is what? Some electronics. This is some footwear. This is like some fashion. Now what is the point is, okay, in the products table, we have some products belonging to all those categories. What will happen if I delete this category from this table? That means what will happen to the products belong to that category when I delete that category from categories table, because it is having relationship with products. Question understood? Huh? Right? That means 3 categories are there and our products also belong to any of them. If I delete a category and its related products are there, what will happen to those related products? By default, what is the reference? Restrict means you can't delete category. By default, it is restrict. That means you cannot delete that category because that category is being used inside other products, and you by default it is restrict, so you can't delete. That means it's not possible to delete the second category. Not second category products. You cannot delete the category. From which table? Categories table. From categories table you cannot. Suppose you have some 4. This belongs to something else, some kids or something, and that related product is not there, then you can delete this category. From the categories table you can delete it because the matching products are not there. But if any product belongs to that category is present, in the products table it is present. Can you delete that product? We can delete the product. So if I don't want Nike, can I delete this? Yes. But you cannot delete this category because that category is connected with this, or that is connected with something else. If both are deleted, then you can delete. So the default is what? Restrict. So when you give restrict, on update restrict, on delete restrict. That means if by default on update it is restricted, on delete also restricted. What does it means? You cannot update and you cannot delete. If you try to update, it will not update. You try to delete, it will not delete. That is the meaning of restrict. So we have one reference type, that is restrict. Another reference type is there, cascade. Cascade means if while creating relationship, if I given cascade, what will happen is if I delete footwear category, all the products belong to footwear are deleted. They are removed from which table? Products table. That means the relationship connects the tables. The relationship connects the tables. Later, when you learn JavaScript and all, you might have learned in JavaScript. In JavaScript, when you learn JavaScript, you will know OOP concepts, classes. In classes, you know inheritance. How you can reuse. There are 2 ways, aggregation, inheritance. There are 2 types of reusability and extensibility. One is aggregation, another one is inheritance. What is aggregation? without maintaining any relationship between them. You can access members of one class in another. That is called aggregation. That is general JavaScript concept. And inheritance means connected. Aggregations uses a mechanism called has a relation. Inheritance uses an is a relation. Is a relation. That means it is in relation with that particular table. When you delete the fields, all that matching will be deleted. This is called as what? Cascade. Cascade. That means when cascade is defined while creating a foreign key, when you modify, automatically it will be modified everywhere. If you delete, it will be deleted everywhere. So that is the point about cascade. Set null means, set null is nothing but if you remove this, then what will happen is wherever the genes, wherever Nike, Puma is there, category ID will be null. Actually, earlier category ID is how much? 2. They are using the category ID as 2. Now automatically they will become null. That means set null means don't delete them, keep them, but make them as null. So that later whenever we want, we can assign to another category, or we can later add the category and connect. You don't want to delete. Keep the records without deleting them. Just simply put as null. When you put null, later in your server side logics, what you can do, in server side logics, you can simply write a logic that if category name is null, then put it as unknown. We don't know the category name. If category name is not null, that means it belongs to some category. If it is null, then say that unknown. We don't know the category. So technically, we have through 3 reference options. What does restrict means? Default is restrict. So what is this restrict? So it configures the relation between parent and child tables. It configures relation between parent and child tables. So parent and child tables. So restrict indicates that the parent field cannot be modified or deleted. The parent field cannot be modified or deleted. If it comprises of relative fields, relative fields in child. Parent field cannot be modified or deleted if it comprises of relative fields in child. That is actually restrict. So the default is restrict. The default is restrict. So let's see here, how do we define that? Let's go to the MySQL workbench. Let's log in into this. Now we will create two tables here. So I will remove them. Okay. First we will create a table. So using the query, create table TBL categories, and in this we have category ID. So first we have to use which one? Shopping. Okay. Then create table TBL categories, and the TBL categories will have category ID, which is an integer, and primary key. We are configuring primary key and category name. So varchar some 20 or 30. Okay, this is the categories table created. We have the categories table here. Now, in the categories table, select, we will put some details. One, electronics. Two, footwear. Three, fashion. Okay, we are inserting those. It is done. The categories table is having some data also. Now let's create here another table. Create table TBL products. In this, we need to set up here product ID, and what is the data type? Integer, and this is primary key. Primary key. So that is one field we are having product ID. Roughly, I'm just giving a name, varchar is 30. Now we are defining category ID. I'm just defining category ID. That means when you are configuring relationship, first you have to have that field here. And what is the foreign key field name? Category ID, because we want to connect with the category ID, and its data type also should match. It should be what type? Integer. Remember, you mentioned category ID as integer, but it doesn't have relation with categories table, because this is a separate table. In this, what is this category ID? It doesn't have any relationship with that. We don't have any relationship with the table. How do you set the relationship? To set the relationship, we have to create a foreign key constant. How do we create the foreign key constant? We have to use constant. We have to use the command constant name. Any name you can give. A foreign key will have, suppose foreign key constants are given with fk underscore categories. That is the foreign key constant. That means any name you can give for that. Why this name is required? So that we can access this foreign key later, and we can modify the foreign keys. If you want to modify the foreign keys, then these are required. Later, if you want to delete this foreign key, then you have to use this constant name. So categories is the constant name. FK categories is the constant name. Okay. What else you have to define? Here you have to define the table field name. That means which field you want to use as that. That means which field you want You have to define that. Constant name. Which field you want as foreign key? You have to define by using this foreign key. So we have to use foreign key and the field name. Which field you want as foreign key in the current table? What is the field? Category ID. Category ID I want as foreign key. Category ID we want as foreign key. And from where, what is the reference for this category ID? Reference. That means with which table you want to relate. You have to give what? References. References. References from which table? Table name. Table name is what? TBL categories. References from table name TBL categories. In TBL categories, what is the field name? So field name is what? Category ID. That is how we need to define. That means what it will do? It will use this category ID as a foreign key. Category ID as a foreign key. References will connect. Connect with whom? It will connect with TBL categories in that which field? Category ID. That means now this, until you mention this, this is not connected with the parent table. It is independent. It is separate. That means you need to connect with the parent. You have to define the table name and we have to define the field name. That means what is the reference table and what is the reference field, right? After defining this, by default here, on update, we have an option what? Restrict. On update, restrict. And on delete. So on delete also what? Restrict. If you don't define this, by default they are on update, on delete, just roughly for next line I will use. By default they are on update is restrict, on delete is restrict. If you don't add this line, by default they are restrict. So if you want, you can have different. What you can do? On delete restrict, on update you can use cascade. You can have both. What does it means? Don't allow to delete, but allow to modify. When they modify, it should reflect in this table. But when they delete, it should not allow. You can have both. Both can be cascading, or anyone is cascading, or anyone is null, or anyone is restrict. You can have anything here. That means it's not necessary that both are restricted, on delete restrict, on update restrict. By default they are. If you want, you can change that. You can change. So this is on update and on delete restrict. Now when you configure this and create a table with this relationship, you configure a table. So the TBL products is created. In the TBL products, we are adding some data. We are adding the data. That means select rows, product ID is 1, name is TV, the category ID is 1. So 2, and the TV, this is like some Nike casuals, and this belongs to what? Suppose this is some jeans, something, and belongs to 3. And this is 3, this is Nike casuals, this belongs to 2. Like this we are giving. That is nothing but actually in categories table, 1 is electronics, 2 is footwear, and 3 is what? Fashion. Those IDs we have to define here. Those IDs we need to define for the category. IDs we need to define with the categories. So I will apply and create. It is successfully added. Data is successfully added. Now editing, later I will tell you, we have commands, update command and delete command. For example, if you want to delete a field from this particular, that means you want to delete any particular record from this. So this is actually categories. In the categories, suppose footwear, I want to delete the row. Later you will learn commands. I am just graphically showing that. If you want to delete the rows, you see it is deleted. And I apply here. That means we are deleting a category ID. And when I apply, it shows an error. Why? We cannot delete that category ID. Why you cannot delete that category ID? Because it is related with other table. It have a relation with other table. So here, suppose, so that means what? So I will add one more, 4, and here I will add kids and apply. This is also inserted. I right click on it. So suppose I right click, delete rows and apply and delete the 4. It is deleted. Why? Because it is not having any relative data. If it is not having any relative data in products table, then it will be deleted. You can delete, you can modify. So restrict is only when the matching records are there. That means in the products table, if any product is using the category ID and you are trying to delete that from the categories table, it will not allow to delete. It will not allow to delete. And it will not even allow to modify. Suppose you are changing the category name or you are changing the category IDs, it will not allow to modify. Because by default you defined as what? Restrict. You have defined as restrict. So technically, syntactically, the restrict is configured like this. So first important is, so here first create parent table like this. This is the parent table. We have to create the parent table. Right. So here now create child table. You can say create a table with foreign key relation. Create a table with foreign key relation. And with foreign key relation, this is the table. All these commands I will give in capital letters so that it is easy. Remember, you can just write in one line all of them, right? Foreign key, constant, everything one line. No commas for them. That means this is all a single line command actually. That is a single line command. Just for clarity's sake, we divided into 3. You should not use commas there. Above, comma is compulsory, separating. So this is all reference to a single field. So how do you configure a foreign key relationship with tables? So can we have multiple foreign keys? Yes, we can have from different tables, from same table, we can have multiple foreign keys also. Means, for example, yesterday we discussed several relationship. Suppose there is a table TBL vendors. Vendors also connected with products because every product is supplied by a vendor. That means every product have a vendor ID also. So you have to create another constant foreign key vendors. The foreign key command vendor ID references coming from TBL vendors and it is vendor ID. That means multiple foreign keys you can configure. Okay, this is on restrict. So we have another option that is a cascade. Cascade. It is a relationship type configured for foreign key. Relationship type configured for foreign key. Cascade indicates that if foreign key field from parent table is deleted or modified, then it removes all relative records from all tables that configure relation with the field Cascade indicates that foreign key field from parent table, if foreign key field from parent table is deleted or modified, then it removes all relative records from all tables that configure relationship with the field. You can say that have relationship with the field, that will be better. That have relation with the field. Whatever tables, whatever records have relation with the table, they will be affected So that is cascade. So only one change we have to do actually. What we have to do, we have to create this table again with those two options defined. So update cascade on delete cascade. Like this we can configure. Suppose you see now, just I need to drop this table now. So we have a products table. Okay, I dropped the table. Just I am changing the relationship. Update on delete instead of restrict, what we are using, cascade. Cascade on update, cascade on delete, also cascade. You can have different. On update it is restrict, on delete it is cascade, like that you can have. Okay, let's run this. This time it is cascade. Okay, let's insert some records in this now, because now newly I created it. Product ID is 1, TV and category is 1. 2, this is suppose I given some fashion jeans, and this is 3. This is mobile, this is also 1, and this is suppose Nike, that is 2. That is some Puma, okay, that is also 2. We have some records. We added some records here and they belong to different options. Third category is some fashion category. Now let's go to categories table. In that, the third is a fashion one. And what we do, here we will right click and delete the row. And we apply. That means we are deleting that and apply. It is deleted. And let's go to the products table and select the rows. In that, the third one is deleted. That means this jeans were there, number 2 na, that is deleted now. Why it is deleted? Because there is no relative category in the categories table. In the categories table, when you delete it, it will affect everywhere. Not only this table, wherever that foreign key field is used in any table, everywhere it will be deleted if there they have created as cascade. If from one table it should be deleted, from another table it should not be deleted, then what we do? In that table, when we are creating, we will put it as restrict. In one table it can restrict, in another table it can cascade. And what is the meaning of cascade? Cascade is meaning nothing but it is going to remove all the records that doesn't have that category anymore. If you delete the category, it is going to remove everything. So that you define by using the cascade option. By using the cascade option. This is another syntax for that cascade. So create table, same references, on update cascade, on delete cascade. These are the options for cascade. So that is configuring relationship using foreign key. What does on update means? If a category ID has changed to something else, it should update everywhere. The category ID must update everywhere. If it is deleted, it is deleting. And if it is updated, it should update everywhere. Right? So that is cascade and restrict. Updating, deleting, later you will learn through commands. Temporarily, what you do to try them, you just select the row, right click on it and delete. To modify, directly select the rows, click inside, modify and apply. Remember, apply command is important. When you apply, it will apply the query. Later, all these you will learn through commands. As of now, you are just learning creating the table. Later, updating, deleting, modifying those foreign keys, we will learn. Through commands, we will learn how to handle. So update means what? Suppose you see in the categories, in the categories, what is the category ID of footwear 2? That means in the products, this is in the products we are having, in the products, these two are having which category ID 2. Now let's go to categories table, change this footwear to 4. The category ID has changed to 4. And I apply and apply. It is updated. Let's see what will happen to the products here. The products will change. This is previous query. Again, I will read the products and you see it changed to 4. So every time you need to just execute the query, it will change to 4. Means it changed because on update you are using cascade. Modifying the category name, it doesn't show anything here because here we are using not name, you are using what? ID. So when you modify, it will reflect everywhere. And when you delete, it will reflect everywhere. That is what cascade option is. Now another option is there, another reference type. What is it? Set null. So it is a relationship type. Configured for foreign key. It is used to set null as value into the data of table that have relationship with parent, that have relationship with parent. If field is changed or deleted, the relative data is set to null. If field is changed or deleted, then relative data is set to null. Is set to null. And syntactically, I will define this here. On delete, I am using set null. On update, it is cascading. But on delete, it can set null. You can have like this. The same thing, but this time on update cascade. That means whenever it is modified, it is modifying. On delete, what it is? Set null. That is set null. That is the basic syntax here. Both you can use set null also. That means on update set null, on delete set null. That means when you modified, it will set to null. When you deleted, it will set to null. But I just defined on delete as what? Set null. So this is another reference type you can define. So reference type can be by using three restrictions: restrict, cascade, and set. So what is default? Default is restrict. Writing these commands and practicing these commands is important. Because do you know where people fail in interview? They can't write these syntaxes on a paper. And in interviews, they ask it. In interviews, they will give a paper and say that write the syntax for this and show me. If you can't write, no use. Because on a system, anybody can write. Even a school kid also can write without knowing technology. Because once he type A, help will come. Right? He will just use it. So that is the reason we make people to practice and write the notes. So people who write the notes, they are qualified for interviews. Others take it easy. That means you don't write, then no use. Because we have seen lakhs of people till now. Earlier, we don't use any notes, online notes. That means after COVID only, you are all COVID software engineers. COVID software engineers, less skills, half skills, so not so professional. These are all COVID type. You are not very good software engineers. Why? Because Earlier, before COVID, we have good software engineers. Now it's problem. Problem is you became YouTube, you became the concept of online notes. So such people will not fit for real world software development. Means a person who writes, he is a software engineer. He can survive. Otherwise, mark my words, once you go to companies, you will experience that. You will experience. So earlier, as I already told you earlier previously, so everybody writes the notes, even Java, .NET like technology, right? Java have a 100-line program. We show that 100-line program on screen. They have to write. You have a HTML program, complete HTML program, they have to write complete program, they have to write on book. Only such people are skilled software engineers. Others are not up to mark. You can see 5 years back, 6 years back, so still in Amirpet, different faculties related notes are available, Xerox copies. Even today you can see in different Xerox centers, copies are present. HTML notes, CSS notes, 200 pages, 500 pages notes. And it is not a printed one, it is an handwritten. Every program is handwritten. So you keep an habit of writing these commands at home. That makes you remember the syntax. Because in interviews, they don't give a computer for showing you, means so that you can show them that I know the syntax. This even for senior experienced people also, they give a paper and they will say that write that syntax and show me. For experienced people also, syntax for this particular operation, write and show me. That's what you need to practice. That means write these commands. Don't by heart them. You need to write them. You write on a paper this command correctly, that is perfect. You have to practice all this, right? So that's the reason we make you to write the note so that you will not face such issues in future. Yeah? So this is the example. Let's see Sentinel. I will execute this one. Okay. So execute this. Table is created and table is there. Select rows. In that we have 1. So TV that belongs to 1. 2. This is like Nike. This is 4. We changed it, na? Yes. 3. Suppose mobile. This is 1. So this is Puma. This is 4. Like this we given. Okay. Apply. That is fine. It's there. Now what we will do is we will go to the categories. Select rows. In categories, we will delete this, modify this one. Modify this to 2. So after that modifying, I apply and it is modified and you go to the products, select rows, it is modified to 2 wherever it is there. Am I right? Now we will delete it. Let's go to the categories and delete that footwear. Select the row, delete the rows, apply, and it is deleted. Let's go to the products and select rows and you see it is null now. This is set to null and this is set to null. When it is modified, it is updated. But when it is deleted, it will not delete them. It will keep them, but the value will be set to what? Null. So later we can write some triggers, stored procedures in such a way that wherever null is there, put some default value. You can keep like that. So later we will write such conditions here. This is how we configure the foreign keys. Now the question is here, how to remove the foreign keys. Observe carefully. When you create the foreign keys in the tables, we have categories and products. In the products table, there is a foreign keys category. So we have foreign keys category in the table TBL products. TBL products is having columns, indexes, foreign keys. Go to foreign keys, you see the constant name will be there. The constant name will be there. This is the constant name used to modify that foreign key or delete the foreign key. Now you select this, you can see it will show all the definition about it. That means what is the target is category ID, and on update cascade, on delete what set null. It will define that. And you see here when I right click, so you see double click, it will get the foreign key. It will get the foreign key. Later you will learn select commands and all. Actually, this foreign key is going to execute. This foreign key is selecting from the tables. That is for nothing but to get the foreign key and see the foreign key. Now you can remove these foreign keys. How do we remove the foreign keys? For that we need commands. We can modify the foreign keys. Modify the foreign key. For that we need commands. Modifying, deleting commands later you will learn. So this is just to create a foreign key and configure the foreign key. How you modify, delete the foreign keys? For that you need the reference of this foreign key constant name. Can we have multiple foreign keys? So here some questions, frequently asked questions. Few is, can we define multiple foreign key fields? So answer is yes, you can define multiple foreign key fields. Actually, multiple foreign key fields from one table you can have, for multiple tables or you can have. So you can define from one or multiple tables. You can define from one or multiple tables. That means, for example, we have two fields. One category ID is there and some category code is there. Same table. Which table? Categories. We want two foreign keys. One category ID should be foreign key. Category code also should be foreign key. Some reference like that. Then what you do? Syntactically you write like this. Constraint foreign key name, and we use the word foreign key. And here you can define field 1 and field 2 like this. You can add multiple fields like this. References you can define. References you can define table name. So field 1 and field 2. Like this you can give references table. And on update, on delete are optional. You can define like this. That means one constraint is using two foreign key fields. And those two foreign key fields are coming from a same table. If two foreign key fields are coming from different tables, then you have to create two different constants. So here one important another point is, can we configure multiple constants? So answer is yes. If fields are from various tables, then you can have a constant for every table. You can have a constant for every table. Right. So that means it is nothing but what you do, constant, one name, another constant, another name, multiple constants we can define, right? That is also possible in different multiple constant we can use it. So this is all the relationships, how you configure for the tables. I hope you understood the various ways of defining the foreign keys, right? Once you do this, now we will learn the commands. This is all about creating a database and creating table. Now we need to learn how to insert and query. How do we insert and query? Queries means you are going to learn the other CRUD operations. CRUD operations means read, update and delete. Create already we learned here. Few we created, right? We created only two things. One is table and a database. We have views creation. Those all we will see after the tables concept. That means inserting data into table, reading data from the table, updating data into the table. These we'll see. We'll see in next session. And next session, tomorrow we will have only doubt session. Tomorrow we will not have a regular session, only doubts. That means only doubt session we will have in tomorrow class. If you have any doubts, then you can attend, you can log in or you can come offline. Tomorrow will be only doubts. Our regular session will be again on Monday. Doubts means when course will complete, when next batch will start, my internet connection is not working properly. I will kick you when you come with those doubts. Understood? Huh? Right? Doubts means till now what you learned, you have any problems in them, it's not working, any issues are there. Those doubts we will clarify, not your personal doubts. Huh? Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue. If you have doubts, you can come. Right? Yeah.